In this video, we are going to talk about how we simplify radicals. So first, let's look at this giant's nth root of 75 we have. So the number in front here we call our index. And so this is like the type of root we have. So if there's no index, like there's no number there, then we assume it's our principal square root. So if there's no number there, then it's a square root. If there's a number there, then it's like, if it's a 3, then we call that a cube root. If it's a 4, we call it a fourth root, so on and so forth. So think back to when we did quadratics and we simplified something like square root of 80. We thought about all the perfect squares. So 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64. And we figured out which one goes into there. So if I do 80 divided by all those, the one that's going to go into there is 16. So 80 is going to become square root of 16 times square root of 5. Now the reason we're using those numbers is square root of 16 will become 4. So become 4 square root 5. Similarly, now with cube root, we need to think about perfect cubes. So 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 27. So out of those numbers, the number that's going to go into 24 is 8. So 8 cubed times 3 cubed, because 8 times 3 is 24. Now the cubed root of 8 is 2. So the cubed root of 24 is going to simplify to 2 cubed root of 3. Similarly, if I think about my perfect cubes with 32 or negative 32, I can take the cubed root of negative 8 times the cubed root of 4. Cubed root of negative 8 is negative 2, because we can take the cube root of negative numbers. We just can't take the square root of negative numbers. Similarly in this one, so now I have a cube root, so I'm going to break down the 48 into, again, the cubed root of 8 times the cube root of 6 is how I'm going to break down that 48. With the x's, if I have 8 x's, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm looking for groups of 3 because my index is 3. So I have 2 groups of 3. So that means 2 x's or x squared is going to come out. And then since there are 2 left that aren't part of a group of 3, those are going to stay in the root. Now this 6 doesn't simplify, so he's going to stay in the root, but this cubed root of 8 will become 2. So my fully simplified answer will be 2x squared cubed root of 6x squared. So same idea with the 20. 20 will, if I think about my perfect squares, 4 goes into 20, so 4 and 5. So 20 would simplify into 2 square root 5. But now I have these 4 x's. And again, this is a square root. So when it's a square root, we assume the index is 2. So I have 2 groups of 2. So actually all my x's will come out as x squared. And my 5 will stay in. All right, 16, again, thinking about my perfect cubes, 8 goes in there, so I'm going to have the square root of negative, or the cubed root of negative 8 and the cubed root of 2. And then I have 20 x's. So I could write out all 20 and find the groups of 3, but let's think about it a different way. I'm going to say, okay, what's 20 divided by 3? Well, it'd be 6 remainder 2, because 6 times 3 is 18, and I would have 2 left over. So that means 6 x's are going to come out, and 2 x's are going to stay in, as well as this 2, and this cubed root of negative 8 is going to become negative 2. All right, let's simplify some of these. So if I have the cubed root of x squared, I know this is the same as x to the 2/3. Same idea here. I have x to the 4th with the 6th root, so that's going to be 4/6 all squared. But if I multiply those together, I would get 8/6, which would simplify to 4/3. All right, well, 36 is a perfect square, and if I have an index of 2, 8 divided by 2 comes out to an even 4, so this simplifies to 6x to the 4th with no root, because 36 is a perfect square and x to the 8th is a perfect square. Similarly for this one, the cubed root of 8 is 2, and if I have 6 x's, that's going to make 2 groups, so 8x to the 6th, the cubed root of that will come out to 2x squared. Now let's talk about if we're simplifying. So if I have 2 radicals and they're multiplied together, I can put them together, or I can separate them, which we actually used this rule up here when we were simplifying. We were like separating out the roots. Same is true for division. If I have two little roots, I can write it as one big root and vice versa. So we're going to kind of use this rule today. So if I have root 5 and root 7, that's going to become root 5 times 7, which would be square root of 35. If I have the cubed root of 6 times the cubed root of 2, that's the cubed root of 6 times 2, or the cubed root of 12. Now I have fourth root and fourth root of x times y, so it's going to be the fourth root of x times y. Now if I have two little roots, I could actually rewrite this as one big root. And why would I want to do that? Well, that's because 81 can be divided by 3. And when I do 81 divided by 3, I get 27. And 27 is a perfect cube. When you take the cube root of 27, you're going to get 3. And that's because 3 to the third is 27. So the cube root of 27 would be 3. Same with 32. So if I take the fourth root of 32 divided by 2, the fourth root of 32 divided by 2 is the same as the fourth root of 16. Now 2 to the fourth power is 16, meaning the fourth root of 16 is 2. All right, we're going to make this a big root, 96 divided by 3, so the fifth root of 32. 2 to the fifth power is 32, so that means the fifth root of 32 is